Well, I started making baskets at 4 years old. What I did was I was sitting at my mother's feet on the floor, and as she dropped stuff from making basket, I would just pick it up and started just fondling with it, trying to make a basket. And then I realized that her basket didn't look anything like my basket, so I started asking questions, wanted to know, what do I need to do for my basket to get to look like yours? And so she started teaching me some things. She found a nail for me to work with, and I started using the nail, and she started teaching me, and my basket started to form to look like a real basket. But then I realized that the basket had too many holes in it. So I started asking more questions. Well, my basket has holes in it, but yours doesn't. And she explained to me, well, you have a nail. Your nail is round, and what I have is a spoon handle, which is flat. So what she did was she took the nail that I had, and she kind of hammered down and made it flat like her nail bone. So from then on, I started making my basket starting to look better. It still had a few holes in it, but it's starting to look better than it did before. Basically, my mother had one job in her life. She went to work for this man as a housekeeper, and unfortunately the man was very nasty to her. So she worked that half a day and quit, and she started making, she just started selling her basket more and making baskets more, and just, that's what she did. And my dad was merchant seaman, but which the basket just subsidized the merchant seaman income. So it was just her, that's what she did all her life. I started teaching my daughter when she was 4 years old. She caught on rather quickly, as well as I taught my son when he was 6. I guess the boys are pretty much different from the girls, because in the beginning my son was more interested than my daughter, but as a little years went on, my daughter became more interested in it than my son. My son did promise to hand his tradition down in his family, as well as my daughter. In the Mount Pleasant area, a lot of the residents know that this art has been brought over by the Africans who were captured and turned into slaves. And these slaves used the baskets in their work to make work easier for them. Whereas today, we use these baskets more or less as subsidized revenue for our families. And basically, the history and the whole culture, the residents of Mount Pleasant knows that history, and they appreciate the history and the culture. Unfortunately, when other people from other areas come in, they see the baskets and they say, wow, these baskets are very expensive. And the people who've been there, they're telling them that this is a whole history behind these baskets. It's not just a basket. You have this tradition has been handed down from generation to generation in their families, which goes back over 300 years. And so it's more than just a basket. You have a whole culture, a whole family, a whole connection of Africa and South Carolina. It's just a whole history behind it.